Um, and okay, let me know if you can see the Falcon logo, the foil that I'm sharing. Maybe Veronica, you can let me know if you see
Yep,
the
I see it.
foils. Yep, everything good. Okay, awesome. So let's go ahead and get started. So we are Falcon Robotics, and I'm Ashwin Tirunahari. Veronica is a seasoned coach. She has been coaching teams for the past few years. She also helps at other schools in Sacramento. And previously, we have been like a garage-based robotics, but there has been a lot of interest from parents, and we decided to work with the schools. And so far, so good. And schools were excited. They really wanted to give us a chance. I want to go over today's agenda is I want to go over quickly, the importance of technology, and then why robotics, why Vex robotics, and then we'll go through, um, you know, about this program itself, like how we form the teams, the pricing, fee payment. We will go over the competitions, and finally any Q&A you may have. So importance of technology, right? The technology has been changing at a torrid pace. I mean, just a year or two ago, I mean, without technology, I don't think we would have survived. Whatever we have done was completely dependent on technology, right? The way we have attended schools, as we all know, the way we have socialized, I mean, we played games online, we talked to people, to our friends, our family members over the Zoom or Google Meet or something like that. We have entertained ourselves with the online games or movies on Netflix or Amazon or whatever the platform be, right? So without technology, all these would not have been possible. And also in last 3-4 years, a lot of things have rapidly advanced. We have seen driverless cars. um, Let me see, I think a lot of people trying to join. I have to click admit. Okay, we have seen driverless cars. Some of our cars already have features like that. Cryptocurrency, it is almost going to replace our regular paper currency. We got to see, but it is definitely showing that promise. Space 2.0. I mean, we have seen people already flying to space. Uh, for tourism, like Jeff Bezos, and I know some people who are buying already tickets to go to space. So there are a lot of advances. Of course, the biggest of all, which benefited every person on this planet, is vaccine development. I mean, we got the vaccines already in the lab within 6 months since we had the virus. Right, this was not possible without the technology, without the computers and all the processing power, everything. So the way I see it is, technology is not just computers and robotics, right? It has become essential for everybody in every field, whether it's finance, business, medicine, uh, robotics, obviously, right? So everywhere technology is becoming very important. So the way I look at it is, whether you want to be a doctor, whether you want to be astronaut, no matter what, everybody need to be familiar with some technology, even whether it's a teacher or to say, or a physician or a pharmacist. Okay, I heard a beep. I thought I need to accept somebody. So it's almost it's almost like English. Okay, we need communication is key. The English is what we use to talk to people, and to be able to communicate with the machines. Uh, I mean, we need to know technology. We should be familiar with coding. We need to know it's not a simple one press button. That's how we used to turn on our TVs like a few years ago, but now it's a lot more interface involved. Yeah, I keep hearing these beeps, and I think people are waiting to be admitted. Okay, so future. Uh, I see that the industry is developing the processing power, and the computers are getting much faster and faster. And based on the news, the computers are going to be almost 500x faster, and that's what the industry is working on by 2025. So the question is, how are our kids going to take advantage of that? How are they going to learn? And that's where Falcon Robotics comes into play. And that's one of our goal, to basically educate our kids through robotics programs. Vex Robotics, we use exclusively Vex Robotics as of today. In future, we may expand to other types of robotics, but currently we use Vex Robotics as a platform to teach robotics and STEM. There are two types of platforms in Vex Robotics. Vex IQ, which is from grades 3 to grade 7. Vex V5 is from grade 7 to grade 11. We'll go in detail later in the later foil. I wish I can somehow automatically make that admit. I'm not able to figure that out. Okay. Uh, but why? So then why robotics, right? Is that the only way to learn technology? No, there are so many ways to learn technology. But through robotics, I think so many other sciences come together in one place, whether it's electronics, it's mechanical engineering, it is physics, it is coding, and math, and a lot more, material engineering. So the other thing is the whole process is gamified with robotics. I mean, you actually interact the robot through through a remote, just like your Xbox. So thus making it entertaining and keep the kids interested. It's very competitive. Like you can compete with other teams. You can win. Yeah, you can win awards, medals, and hopefully maybe even a scholarship. Right. The other best part is whether it's not about just winning, right? Learning. One of the key things about it is you get that immediate feedback, whether you are right or wrong. You don't have to wait to understand whether you are right or wrong. I mean, that gives you that immediate satisfaction, and that immediate satisfaction keeps that interest alive, right? For example, kids attend a math class, right? They learn about, for example, yeah, 360 degrees is a circle, right? Why is it 360 degrees? I mean, how does it really be a circle? Okay. uh, there are a lot of questions. Sometimes you just have to remember it that way. And uh, in robotics, you can actually program the robot and make it go 360 degrees, make it go 270 degrees, make it go 45 degrees. You will get immediate feedback. You can keep trial and error. That is the engineering process, right? That trial and error. You keep trying until you get it right, right? And you get that immediate that feedback. Hey, okay, yeah, 360 degrees actually did make it a circle. So that's one of the aspects why I like robotics. You can learn so many things and you get that immediate feedback. But why Vex Robotics, right? Vex is one of the most popular robotics platform, and it has becoming more acknowledged and recognized by schools as a key platform. The other thing is it ranges from ages 4 and above. Even colleges have programs based on Vex platform. Even companies use Vex platform for prototyping robots. So there are so many advantages with Vex robotics. Vex is also recognized by schools, even in Sacramento. Also Middle School, Riverview, Natomas Pacific Charter School, right? They all have some form of Vex classes. Our history with Vex. We started out as a garage team. We've been, I was actually just coaching my kids. We started with a team of 3, and more and more parents started, asking, "Hey, can my kid be in the team?" So definitely there was a lot of interest, and we thought, okay, what is the best way to do it? So we started with a summer camp in Folsom and Rocklin. It was a big success. We were also covered in CBS Good Day Sacramento. It is in YouTube. I can send this link actually. I will send the files and you can take a look at this link. We also did a drone camp. So that's another competition that we would like to look into in future, like a drone competition. Uh, so I would like to, at this point, I would like to introduce Veronica and talk about, what she has done, how she has built her team, and what she has accomplished. Veronica?
Hi, everyone. My name is Veronica Griffin. I've been coaching VEX now for 4 years. I've done mostly the IQ hardware and software. So I'm working mostly with elementary school students. My daughter's now in middle school and still competes. And at Riverview Elementary, we had a class of 20 kids, and so we got to put them in different teams. And so I'm very familiar with working with a lot of kids on different levels. I love VEX because I think it is a great opportunity for kids who some of them get into robotics because they like building. Um, they have an affinity for Connects or Legos. There's a lot of really great building platforms out there. Some of the kids really like coding, like they had experience with Scratch or just hour of code and wanted to do more. Um, so I think robotics, as Ashwin has said, it pulls kids with different interests into one field. And this competition is a great way for them to overlap different skill sets. And even within, my daughter got into this more because she is much more the builder, and the idea brainstormer, prototyper. But through this, I think you'll find that getting some kids to code is a little like pulling teeth. It's not the most interesting thing to them, to sing lines and lines of text. But because of her love for building and her wanting her robot to do more, Vex has been a great way for her to grow her coding knowledge and her mathematical knowledge. There's so many other avenues. And a lot of that is because she's a hands-on learner. But robotics has really opened the door for her to learn so many other things. So we've been pretty successful. They've qualified for state every year that they've done it, and we've qualified for worlds twice. So very exciting. So I'm just excited to start reaching more students with this. I wish everyone could do that. So happy to be part of this.
Thank you, Veronica. So I would like to stop here at this point and see if there are any questions. Anybody want to ask? Okay, we'll keep going. There are two platforms in VEX. Actually, there are more than two, but we concentrate mostly on these two platforms. VEX IQ is grades 3 to 7. It is intermediate robotics. It is a Lego type, basically, plastic pull apart components. As you can see, these are pins. You can just pull them apart, or you can use a pin to connect another piece. It's so much easier for younger kids to build a robot with the pins like this. And the coding challenge is but it is not going to minimize the coding challenge. It is still pretty much very similar to other advanced robotics. You can take it to any level based on your capability. You can code it in C++ if you want to, and there are so many sensors in it, like a touch sensor or a vision sensor. You can use all the sensors to program your robot and make it as autonomous as possible. You can also control it remotely with a remote, like a Xbox type of remote. This is VEX V5 platform, while the other platform that I just talked about is all plastic. This V5 platform is all metal components. So there will be a lot more screws that you need to use, bolts, nuts. The gears are stronger. You have bigger wheels. The whole system is a lot more heavier. There are other advantages with it. You can actually cut the components, like all these metal bars. You can cut them to the size that you want. You can bend them. You can cut it at an angle, if that's what you want to do. So there is some safety involved, but definitely it is going to be kids that are a little bit more advanced from grade 7 to 9. um, and this can even go even higher. Like colleges also used a similar platform. So the creativity and is left to your challenges, what you want to build and how you want to build. uh, our curriculum, so we have a custom curriculum that we have built. We do use other regular curriculum, but we have built that is defined by vex. We are certified by vex as a coach. uh, and our curriculum is very comprehensive and detailed. I go through lots of real life examples and various techniques. I want to get kids thinking. I want to use their imagination to come up with their own solutions for the problem. And more importantly, I want the kids to actually observe and come up with the problem. See, for in most cases, what I think is, if you are given a problem, right, you can come up with a solution. I mean, that's what our schools teach us, right? The teacher always gives us a problem. We need to do our homework. You can solve the problems. But I want the kids to actually observe and figure out what is the problem. How do I fix, right? And then come up with the solutions, right? Well, what is the problem with my robot? What is the problem with our code? They need to think, what is a better robot? How can you solve this, solve a challenge? Here is an example that I usually go through for. So this is a chapter on gears that we go over. Obviously, Vex has lots of gears. We talk about different gear ratios. If you see, the smaller gear rotating faster, the bigger gear rotates slower. Why is that, right? Well, if you have same gears, they rotate at the same speed. We walk through animations so that the kids can understand better. Obviously, there is a lot of math behind all these gears and gear ratios that I want the kids to understand. um, there will be homework that kids need to work on. uh, Here is a warm gear. Why do we use a warm gear, and how is it used in real life? This is like an ice cream maker which uses a warm gear. This is one of the ice cream machines that I used when as a child, uh, that uses the warm gear technology, right? uh, This is a bevel gear. Why do you use bevel gears, and what are the advantages of bevel gear? This is like a drilling machine that my grandfather used to use, which is a bevel gear based. So I like to give a lot of examples. This is rack and pinion, and how does the gears work? Why do we use rack and pinion? So we go through a lot of examples and math behind it and the concepts behind it. And there will be homework, and all the material will be posted on Google Classroom. One thing I would like to mention is I want to give a big thank you to the schools, the principal, Mrs. Daniel from Folsom Middle School, and also Superintendent Mr. Jim Shoemake. Because of their help, I was able to actually bring this program to the schools. Because schools are helping us out, I was able to subsidize the program also quite a bit. This is saving dollars to the parents. I still need to pay the schools some amount, but it will be still subsidized. This saves a time for the parents. You don't have to drop off the kids at a different location and pick them up again, right? So by doing this right at the school, one of the advantages I see is, kids can directly walk to the program, and just parents pick the kid later in the evening. Obviously, one of the side advantages is it saves the environment. Parents are not driving as much. Yeah, it's a minor one, but for me, environment is a big thing. So I just put that bullet in. Okay, we are offering this program at Folsom Middle School, Marina Village Middle School, and Pleasant Grove Middle School. We are definitely getting quite a few requests from Folsom Middle School and Marina Village. Pleasant Grove, I did not get as many. We'll have to see. Hopefully, after the parent meeting, I might get few more. We will see. Otherwise, one of the options we have been thinking is to merge the Pleasant Grove with the Marina Village and just offer it to Marina Village. Fee. the fee is $135. This has been communicated. So this program starts from September first week and ends in April. In fact, actually, the program does go all the way to May, but the May is for mostly competitions that are state and world competitions. So for if our teams do get selected for state and world, we might have to go all the way to May. But otherwise the program is September to April, 8 months. That is, I'm just calculating for this 8 months, which is $1,080, 135 times 8, right? I've been thinking how to do this fee. I, I I think the best way to do it is split this into two parts. The first payment is a $540, which will be paid on the 1st of September before the program starts, and the second payment will be another 540 for the 1st of January. There are two reasons behind this. The one is there is a huge upfront cost. Okay, we need to buy the equipment and everything, and register for the competitions. So from during the first quarter, which is from the September to December, there will be big expenses that we need to pay. So that's one of the reasons why I split it this way, so that it definitely helps us pay all my bills. Number two, uh, I don't want to spend too much time in checking. Hey, checking every month, is the fee paid? Go back to the parent and ask, make the payment. It's a lot more involved. By reducing it to only two payments, it definitely saves my time, so that I can concentrate on the real program rather than on logistics of fee and etc. The fee does cover equipment, so you parents don't have to pay for the equipment. There is a special notebook that teams need to use to document their work. So it covers the notebook, it covers a t-shirt, it covers a registration for all the competitions that we go. uh, any additional advanced equipment, especially for the V5, there is a lot more advanced equipment that can be purchased. So all that will be covered. So this is the default very basic robot, uh, but kids implement using pneumatics, and they can go with more motors, more sensors, etc. Then that comes with the default kit. So whatever the kids need, I really want to encourage them and build the best robot and actually win the competitions. So that is my goal. So everything will be covered. The only thing I don't cover is hotel stays. For the competitions, I cannot pay for the hotels. If parents decide to stay over there, and I do not pay for driving to the competition. But I'm thinking the schools may provide us a bus to go to the competitions. If they do provide that, that's awesome. I'm working with the schools, trying to figure out if we can get a bus facility. Otherwise, I need volunteers from parents who can drive. There will be 4 competitions at the minimum per team. And obviously, we just need 1 parent or 2 parents to drive the kids to the competition. So we can round robin, like, first for the first competition, one other parent goes. For the second competition, the second parent goes. All the payments need to be paid by Zelle, and this is the number you need to use to pay by Zelle. If any parent, let me know, if this is a hardship on them or anything to making this fee payment. Let me know. I can work with the schools, see if there is any possibility. And also, if you prefer to pay monthly, again, please let me know. But I would like to keep it this way if at all possible.
You have a few questions, I think, in chat. One, if the students have to commit for the entire year.
Yes. Yep. You want to cover that?
Oh, sure. Yes, I would say that if you did sign up, definitely. So when you register a team, and there's usually 1 to 4 students, or 4 to 5 students per team, ideally, you can compete with just a team of 2. So, based on kids you commit, but you always need 2 children to drive at a tournament because it is a team sport. So you always have 2 drivers. Ideally, someone I think asked about roles. Yes, you have more people on the team because you have someone taking notes and documenting the progress and the design and engineering process. So you have what's called an engineering notebook. Usually, ideally, have someone who's a very strong builder. You have someone who's a very strong coder per team, and you have your two drivers, out of those who are the best. So when you register a team, you can't make any changes to that team for the year. It's very similar to like competitive sports, where once you put in a roster, you can't make any changes to that roster during that competition season. So given that it is a competition, you'll see the more you get into this world, there are bigger organizations that have really good drivers, really good builders, and they don't want that organization to just have that one kid building the robot for all their subsequent teams or driving for all the other teams. So that rule is put there to kind of just, make it a fair competition for all the teams. So if your child does commit and decide to be on a team, they are on that roster for that year, and we can't make any changes to that roster before the state competition. Other questions? I'm trying to read them.
Yep.
Oh, this is one that you might want to answer, Ashwin. What happens if a child decides after starting they don't like it?
Well, again, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's the same thing as you answered, right? I mean, that team is going to have a problem. Um, it's okay. I mean, if the team size is 4, they'll have to go with 3, so there will be more burden on all of them. Besides that, you know, yeah, so the team may not like it, but if that's what it is, what can we do, right? Yeah, they can, but make up your mind. If the kid is serious, sign up. That's the key. Okay. Yeah. It's not something like, hey, I would like to try it out. Then yeah, I mean, then definitely I wouldn't recommend. Okay. That's one of the reasons why we do summer camps. We may do other camps if possible, like winter camp or something like that. But um, those are the camps where you can actually try out and figure out, if this makes sense for our kids.
And if they have questions, email Ashwin or I specifically, or stay on after this call a little later and let me know what their reservations are, because there is a learning curve with robotics, obviously, but I would say it's very entry level, especially VexIQ, even V5. So if they think, I know some kids are like, oh, robotics, I'm not smart enough to do that. It's about just, are you willing to learn it? And it is very entry level. So I think if your kid has an interest in it, they'll probably like it. I haven't met a kid yet who was interested and then kind of fell off. There, we do get a few kids, I think, in the at the last school that I taught, that you could tell they were there because their parents wanted them to be there. And those usually might not be as interested. But if your child has an interest, I think this is a good place for them to be.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, when we did the summer camp, I mean, so many kids, they were like really excited. I couldn't believe that, they had such a good time, attending the classes, and almost everybody was asking, okay, what's the next step? Can we go to competitions? How are you? When are you going to do it? It's like, yes, unbelievable. The amount of energy in the classroom is great.
Where are competitions held? So
yes, we will cover that in the coming files. Let's quickly go over the questions. Will you bring this program to Oak Ridge High School? If this program can proceed in high school, this may help out outside school activity and in college application. Yes, very good question. Oak Ridge, we did go to the Oak Ridge High School to discuss about this program, but the principal definitely wanted to see, first 2 years how first this year how it works out at at one school or 2 schools, and then we will go ahead with the high school. That's one of the feedbacks from the school district. But yes, we are definitely interested to go to the high school, but there are other opportunities for high school program, right? I want volunteers who can, and coaches, in fact, who can come and coach our future programs and even programs for this year, right? So There are so the activities like this will definitely help out in the college application as well. Even if you are not in the part of the robotic team, as a high schooler you can come and participate, you know, coach. You can if you already have some kind of a coding skill, you should be able to coach robotics. If you
Mhm.
have if you come and volunteer running an event, for example, we will be running competition events and we need volunteers for that, so that does help. Do you have any high school team already? No, we don't have any high school teams. How many students need to Guys, going up and down. How many students need to enroll at Pleasant Grove to keep the program local? Uh, I want at least 15 students at a school to be able to run the program successfully.
Yeah.
Can I try one class and make the decision? Yes, you can. So we would like to have the registrations. We'll start the registration process, logged in. And we need to register with Vex Robotics or the company, the team roster, right? So that will be logged in around mid-September. So we would like to make the decision by then. So yes, after first week, you can make a decision. Do all instructors have background checks and live scans? Yes, because we are offering this at a school, the school has their own list of requirements. They need to be fingerprinted, they need to be live scanned, absolutely. Where are the competitions held? I will cover that. What happens if the child decides to drop after starting? Yep, we discussed
I
about
think we
that.
got all of those.
Okay, yep, I think we covered most of these.
A
Okay,
couple of these are going to be answered, I think, with your next couple
correct.
slides. So
Okay, let me switch back to the foil here. Yes. Oops, not this guy here. Okay. Teams will be formed only after the fee is paid. So which will be, like first or the second week of September. But I want to get the fees, yeah, only after, I don't want to form the teams before the fee is paid, because if there are dropouts, I cannot make changes. Once the teams are formed and registers, we cannot change the teams. Yeah, so we talked about that. Team size. Team sizes can be between 4 to 7 kids, but I would like to keep the team small. 4 for a team of IQ team. Okay, this is for the younger grades, and 5 for a higher grades, which is VEX V5. But there are so many other things that go into deciding the team size. If I do get a lot of registrations, more, and unfortunately if I don't get the robot kits on time, I might have to add one more kit for each team. uh, so we will have to see how that goes. I already ordered quite some kits, okay, expecting how many teams will be signing up. But looking at the interest, I might have to order more. So, and also I have a meeting with the principal. The school may provide some kits, we don't know. uh, so so based on all that logistics, some of the team sizes may change. The other thing is, okay, uh, if you have noticed here, grade 7 to grades 9 is VEX V5. There is an overlap for grade 7, and this is IQ is 6 to 7. In fact, even grade 6 can do, I mean, yeah, I would change. Grade 6 also can do V5. Okay, I have seen quite a few teams that do that. I want to talk about the differences here. By doing the VEX IQ platform, building the robot is easier, and you can concentrate on other things like coding. Here, you will spend a lot of time building the robot, trying to understand the mechanics of it. Even if you want to just take apart something, you spend quite a bit of time, right? Uh, but it is quite advanced in a way. You can learn different things. If you are the first time team, even if you are grade 7, There is nothing wrong in doing Vex IQ platform. You will be equally challenged in the first year. Lot of kids do the robotics at least 2 years or more, right? So for the second year they can switch to Vex V5. So that's one of the advantages. They get to like a grade 6 and 7, they can start out with IQ, even if it is on the lower scale, but for the next year they can go to V5. That way they get the exposure to do both. Not only that, when they are building V5, they can actually start mentoring their other teams, build the IQ robots who are in grades 4 and 5 for the next year. So I actually like that concept. So I want to keep the program flexible on which kid goes to which program, based on the robot availability, based on the team availability. We will make a decision on which kid will go to V5 and IQ. But grade 8, I will definitely put on V5. Here is the schedule for the middle school. Uh, Fridays 2:30 to 5:30 at Folsom Middle. Thursdays is Marina, and Pleasant Grove is on Tuesdays. Uh, it goes so it is 3 hours program on weekdays. On weekends, we will have to do again, the schedule is here like 3 to 5 on Saturdays, but 12 to 2 here and 9 to 11. But we will not be doing this program on all weekends. The goal is to have a minimum of 4 hours a week. Okay. And probably what we can do is we can do 3 classes up here on Fridays, all four or sorry all 4 classes on Fridays, and probably one in that month we can do a one longer session like on Saturdays, and get to practice more and code or whatever the kids want to, right? So that gives them the opportunity. You don't have to come every Saturday, so we will decide on one Saturday a month, and save time that way. uh, at the moment, even I don't know which Saturdays we will be doing. I'll be working with the schools, figuring out what the school schedule is, when the custodian is going to be available. So there are a lot of logistics because we are working with the school, and that to multiple schools. So based on all those criteria, we will decide a date, and I will publish the dates on what Saturdays we will be available. Does the kids need to attend every class? Is it okay if they can miss a particular one class or few classes? Yes, I mean the kids have always, they are enrolled in soccer or some other sports program, or maybe they have, maybe they are sick, or they can't make it to a particular class. I think it is okay. I recommend to attend, try to attend at least uh, all the weekdays, or at least overall try to make up 70 to 80% of the class time. Okay, there will be your team that can cover for you, and when you come to the next class you can probably catch up and work with your team. But eventually, try to make at least 70 to 80% of your time is spent in the class. So it's okay to miss, but don't miss too much. To be really competitive, kids work at least 4 hours a week. Okay, so or that's how it should add up eventually. The class time includes coaching and building, which brainstorming, working with your team members. You need to design, you need to build the robot, you need to practice driving. This is actually another key skill. uh, Programming, documentation, practice driving, and also practicing interviewing. So we will be also doing that. Teams also need to plan at least 4 hours of competition in a season, four competitions in a season between October and April. The season does begin in the late September and runs till April. And in May, there will be world and state competitions that we may have to go depending on who wins, etc. As you can see here, there are roles. We can say, there are roles that will be defined for the kids. So one of the kids will be doing driving, learning. He has to be an expert at driving. expert at building, except somebody has to be an expert at design. So they need to assign roles to among themselves who will be doing what. Okay, I will go over in a little bit detail actually in the next file, the roles. Competition schedule. I will update you when the competitions are, the exact date. Okay, they are not all published yet, but as I mentioned, it will be like late October, something like that, right? Most of the competitions will be held in Northern California, which is Bay Area, Modesto, Davis, Woodlands, and also Sacramento. The competitions are all day event, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. uh, some parent participation is mandatory. That means driving to the location. If you are not driving, you probably don't have to attend. So basically, if you have a team of 4 and you can drive all 4 kids in your car, one parent is probably good enough. If you're a team of 5 or 6, you probably need 2 parents to drive the teams to the competition. And again, as I said, there are 4 competitions and it's all in Northern California. And the other thing is, Falcon is already certified to do competitions. That is one of the things that we are planning to host competitions this year. So that will bring competitions closer to home in Folsom and El Dorado Hills. Schools are really eager to host competitions. Both Folsom School District and Rescue is very eager to help us out for competitions. But competitions are major events. More than 100 kids come. We need to do a lot of setting up the field for for the robot. We need to set up the TV monitors. We need to have judges, etc. And everybody need to be trained. So one person or just the Falcon team itself cannot do and cannot run competitions. If we were to run competitions, this is the other thing I will need help from parents, which is volunteering to help during competitions, to set up the competition and run the competition. You can have your friends come, you can have your kids, especially the high schoolers. This is a great opportunity for the high schoolers. We can also have their siblings, whoever, etc. More details on the competitions will be communicated at the end of September, once we have all the teams formed and once we start working with the Vex company to figure out the competition schedule and setting up in the Folsom or El Dorado. Uh, One thing I wanted to add is for the kids, which is the high schoolers here. The other thing that we would like to do is we want to do like an outreach program, which is I want the high schoolers to even go and showcase robotics, talk about robotics, why STEM programs are so much fun. We want to go to other schools, especially schools that are not funded, right? Low income areas. We wanted to go there and teach the kids, maybe teach them for free. We want to set up activities and programs like that. So that's where high schoolers can really help us out. Uh, Okay, how are we all going to communicate, right? I use WhatsApp exclusively to communicate with the parents, uh, and I want to use Google Classroom to communicate with teams, and as also WhatsApp with the teams. So the way I set up is we will set up a team in WhatsApp. WhatsApp is like a messaging app, just like a messenger or right, or a text message kind of an app. And we set up teams in WhatsApp group, and we will have the parents and also the kids. If they have the phones, we will also add the kids to the WhatsApp group, so that that particular team can communicate, talk about the hey, who is driving tomorrow? Okay, hey, when is our team scheduled for the competition? Are we ready? What do you, hey, set up a coach time, etc. So we will use WhatsApp to discuss all that stuff. I will have one big WhatsApp group with all the parents and all the VEX participants to communicate anything that is coming up, uh, like a, uh, like a staff didn't show up. We want to communicate with about problems about uh, you know custodian didn't show up, or talk about what is the next competitions that are coming up, make some announcements or anything like that. So I will use a group, one larger group of WhatsApp group to communicate such things. Parents can direct message me on WhatsApp to talk about any specific problems they have, or if they are not able to make up come to a program, they need help with something. Yeah, please let me know. WhatsApp me directly. My WhatsApp number is here. Again, I will send out these files and you get all the information from the files. Adding on, of course I do have a phone, and the same WhatsApp number is my phone number, but use it for emergency only. If every parent keeps calling me, I mean, I don't think I can pick up all the phones. I already have enough sales calls to pick up. And yeah, if the coach doesn't show up, the custodian doesn't show up, or something like that happens, let's wait for 5 minutes past the class time, still don't show up, yeah, call me. Definitely that is emergency. If somebody is hurt, or the kids are behaving rudely and you really need to talk to me, yes, definitely, call me for issues like that. But if it's a real serious emergency, somebody hurt, actually do call 911. Again, this is my WhatsApp number. Of course, I'm available on email, falconacademy@gmail.com. That's the email I have been using to send out all the meeting invites and all the emails that I send. This is the email address I use, so just use that. We do have a website, we do have a Facebook and Instagram, and all the links are here. Yeah, please do follow the Facebook, so that I can actually post some pictures. I can post information about robotics, or anything that is interesting I want to post on Facebook. Okay, any questions?
If you have any team related questions, now would be a good time to ask them. Or
so yeah, Veronica, what was the question you said? What was it?
I was trying to think. I think I saw some. Can kids be in? I think someone asked if two boys can be in one group. Yeah, Vex isn't age specific. It kind of is. I mean, in that your Vex IQ. But if you have like a fourth and a fifth grader, they can be on the same team. They don't both have to be fourth graders.
Yeah.
We will probably make teams based on skill and interest level. We try to make nice balanced teams. That way the kids all stay engaged. If there's, too many kids all who want to build on one team, and one team is all made of just kids who want to code the robot, they should be on different teams, So that's mainly what we look for, if that answered that question. So skill and interest level, definitely talk to your kid. That way they know what they like. All the practices are held at the school. I think we answered that. Oh, is there any math requirement to participate? No. They'll learn everything hands-on. Vex, I don't know how many of you are familiar with Project Lead the Way, but they do some of that curriculum as well. So it's very project-based learning, and the competition is no different. So even as Ashwin said, with gear ratios, if your kid is having trouble with fractions, this is a great way for them to be exposed to ratios and fractions. And even if they struggle with that concept in class, they can absolutely still do Vex robotics, and it'll probably help them. So I think that's all the questions so far.
Yep. So can the kid directly enroll? Can be directly enrolled in V5? Yes, absolutely. There is no prereq like, yeah, you have to do IQ and then only go to V5. Yes. Are all the practices held at school? Yes. All the practices are held at school. For Folsom Middle School, fifth grade has a minimum day. Yes, that's actually one of the reasons why we picked the minimum day to be able to start early, like at 2:30. Yes, kids have to stay for 30 minutes. We if the reason why I put it 2:30 is also because our coach uh, may have a schedule conflict to if they come if they can come at 2:15 or so, we would actually start at 2:15 so we can start early. But I will know more details and I will communicate with you all, as I find out. Okay. And there might be some minor adjustments to the schedule based on school requirements. Okay, not everything is set in stone, so there can be adjustments. Okay, and I want parents to be flexible related to that. Elementary minimum day is on Thursday. Middle school minimum day is on Friday. Yes, so for the elementary school in minimum days, uh, I thought is this for Folsom elementary, because elementary minimum day is for rescue is on Wednesday.
Yeah, we're working with different school districts, and I
Correct.
think we both have kids in FCUSD school
Correct.
district, so I'm
Exactly.
familiar with that schedule. So we're trying to branch out and, of course, coach at other schools, but we're learning the schedules as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think he made those times based on, like
I
what we
do
saw
spend
fit
quite a
really
bit of time to understand the schedules and try to come up with this, but it's not. It is very challenging. Every
well.
school
We
has
don't know them
different
off the top
timing.
of our head yet.
Yeah, and here for Folsom Middle School or yeah, actually any school, um, if the kids do come out at 3:30 for the elementary, sorry, here, right, on Fridays, elementary school comes out at 3 o'clock or so. Yeah, please join at 3:30 so they'll still have a 2 hour session, and we'll have to figure out a Saturday session to cover for the 4 hours. So who are the coaches? Veronica, she'll be our one of the main coaches. I am one of the coaches. I will try to be there on weekdays, but most of my time will be on Saturdays. We have few other coaches that we are hiring, and other coaches who have coached during for our summer camps. So we have some coaches from summer camps. We are definitely hiring few more coaches because of the so many locations. Logistics is definitely a big challenge, and if any kids or anybody who is looking for a summer job, so not a summer job, looking for a job, and you think they are very capable to teach robotics, please do let me know. We would like to hire, and this is especially if anybody for 12th grade. This is a great program for them. They can not only use this experience for college applications, they will be able to take I think early release and be able to teach programs like this. um, Yes, I will keep you guys updated on the Pleasant Grove as we go. Uh, Another thought I have for the Pleasant Grove is I want to try out an option where parents, at least only for Pleasant Grove, rather than doing it at a school, they can probably do it at a home if one of the parents can volunteer and uh, and come to the Saturday class in at Marina Village. So that's another option I would like to explore, but I want to see if parents are interested to host at their home and use their garage probably. So if Marina can do on Wednesday, I thought Marina here. Okay. Yeah, I can do Marina on Wednesday, but what I understand is that the school ends at 1 o'clock or so. It's a minimum day. So the kids have to wait until 2 o'clock or 2:30 for the program. That's one of the reasons why I decided Thursday. I really wanted to do Wednesday for Marina. So that option is still available if parents ask if you want on Wednesday, and if the kids can wait till 2:30, I don't know. So that's something I would like to find out from the parents. Okay. So what is the expectation from parents? We are not a babysitting facility. So what I mean by that is, do not expect the kids to stay, longer than predetermined hours, and don't drop the kids early either. Our staff may be there 15 minutes late, but they need to clean up, they need to set up the class, anything like that. So the staff may not be available to actually watch the kids. So I really recommend to pick up the kids on time and drop the kids on time. I recommend also parents to attend the competition, because you can cheer your kids. They will be more excited to show their work. You know, um, and you can see what kids have been learning. Please volunteer when needed. Driving to the competition when we host competitions. And one last thing, I really want clean up after the class. Okay, so I mean, you don't have to come like 30 minutes early or anything like that to help the class, but when you are there, try to help the kids clean up. Kids are kids. No matter how much we teach, they are going to still leave there's like, for example, if Vex V5 have hundreds and hundreds of components, right? They will just leave things and on the table. They don't organize it properly. They probably leave a screw in the nut box and the nuts in a screw box. So if parents can help rearrange and organize, that would really help a lot. So just spend like the last 5-10 minutes to help the kids out. Yeah, it is after all their team, your team, you are helping out. Talk to kids every day. Discuss the ideas. What did they learn? What did they do? Did they come up with any new idea? How are they going to solve so and so problem? Ask questions. Why? What? When is the competition? Where is the competition? Anything like that. Do not touch the robot. Okay, to fix something. um, it's a kids class. Okay, I want them to learn everything by themselves. It is a big no. I don't want parents to touch the robot. Don't even touch their code. You can definitely talk about, discuss, use a whiteboard or whatever, or a notebook to talk about it, but do not touch their robots. Yeah, sometimes they may ask you to unscrew something or pull a pin out. Yes, those things you can definitely do, but don't come there to fix a robot. Especially at competitions, don't, because there will be at the competition, there will be judges and other staff who are watching, and they may not like it, and they may even disqualify the team, and we will be completely disqualified from that competition on that day. Okay, these are called like mommy bots and daddy bots, where parents actually take a big role in helping the kids out in building their robot. uh, and if you are really interested and you are into technology and you want to help out, you want to come and help out coaching uh, parents, or your senior year 12th grade kids, anybody you want to come and help. Absolutely, you can talk to us, talk to me, because this is at school. Again, school has requirements. We need to have you all fingerprinted. We will pay all your expenses for to be fingerprinted, etc. But yes, we need, if you are interested, please let me know. Expectations from teams, that is the kids, right? The teams itself, they need to clean up after their class. This is a classroom where we are actually working. So you can't just leave the robot on the table and leave, because next day the teacher is going to have a different program in the same classroom, and they will not like it if we leave our robots there. Be courteous and respectful to your teams. Complete your tasks on time. That is, whether if your job is to do homework that day, finish it off. If you have to do the design, do that, because your team is dependent on your design, and you slack and you do not complete it, I mean, it is hurting your team. Participate. Don't just stand and observe in the room. Okay, I want the kids to come brainstorm, work with your ideas, bring out your ideas and your thoughts. Talk to your team members. Don't become sub teams, right? Like, hey, we two are friends and those two are friends, and don't split your team into two different sub teams. Okay, I want all of you, for all four, to actively participate. As we have discussed, there are multiple roles, like brainstorming, design, build, driving, programming. uh, Kids may be expert at something. For example, they're really expert at programming, doesn't mean they are not going to build. Okay, this is a learning program. I want every kid to do every activity and be able to build that confidence. This is way too early in their career or in their life to decide that they are an expert at something. Okay, they need to try out everything. They need to figure out what is the best over the years, not on day one or not in just 6 months. Okay, try it out, keep learning, working with your team. um, and yes, kids need to attend competitions. Try to attend all the competitions. Yes, if you can't attend one competition, that's okay. We may have another. Let's say you are designated driver, but you couldn't attend. Maybe we'll have a second driver. But try to attend the competition. It really helps. Eventually, have fun. I mean, you're going to learn a lot, so just have fun. Expectations from the coach, from myself and other coaches, right? We want to be there and brainstorm with the kids, work with the kids. We are not going to build the robot for the kids. We are not going to touch the robot either. We are not going to touch their code. We will discuss with them. We'll talk through it. What are the problems they are facing? What we may come up, provide some hints and ideas. Hey, try to do this or something like that. But eventually, they are the ones who have to build. They are the ones who are going to try out and learn from their mistakes. Talk, discuss with your friends and with your team. In fact, you can welcome to talk to other teams. When you go to competitions, kids can take pictures of other robots and see how other competitors are doing. Why are they doing better? How did they implement? And then you can come back and learn from their concepts. Our goal, the coach's goal, is to give you the foundation and make you learn all the key concepts and share the learnings. um, I want them to imagine and make mistakes and rebuild. I want to build, our future Wright brothers, who built the airplane. They did not build airplane on day one, right? They went through so many iterations. That's what we call in engineering, right? They researched, they tested, they failed, right? Then rebuilt. It took almost 6 years for them to build an airplane that actually flew. But they had to research. Nobody before them did that researched the how the wings work in an airplane. So I want the kids to go through the similar process. In fact, in my program, we go through examples of other scientists. How did they build? How did they come up with the ideas? Expectations from coach for and more, right? I will stay ahead of competitions. I will monitor when the tournaments will begin. I will get the kids signed up. I will try to I will post on WhatsApp about the coming up competitions. I will respond to your emails, WhatsApp, and phone calls. What else? Sponsors. we did get some help from Skyhawks, Super Tots. They run the sports programs in Sacramento area, so we did get some help from them uh, for funding. So I think that's about it. So that's all I have for today's parents meet. Any other questions? Does Vex contain C++ programming tools? Do you have lessons prepared for C++ programming? Yes. So we want to introduce C and C++ for grades 7 and above. Vex does support C++. No Thursdays, please. I am thinking this is,
Or then someone says prefer Thursdays.
yes. Uh, yeah. Yeah, I prefer on Thursdays for Marina, please. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously, yes. Prefer Thursdays, almost done. 26 and 33 slides, 26 out of 33 slides done. Yep.
I just want to chime in and say I've done a lot of volunteering coaching like swim, soccer, other places, and just like anything, it's a scheduling nightmare a little bit. So
Yes.
for being flexible. I always tell parents like I wish I could, adhere to everyone's work schedules and school schedules, but a lot of it has to do with, coaches and when they're available, and then when we have fields available to us. The schools have been kind enough to offer their gyms. This is such a new sport or competition that I think a lot of people were very confused about what Falcon Robotics needed, how big of a space, what we needed. And so trying to this is the first year that we're really getting it into more schools. Ashwin and I are moving out of our garages for our team. So we haven't really even had a space yet. So we're really hoping that the schools really like this and then it will grow. So yeah, this is a good, hopefully you guys are all on board.
Yep. If no other questions, we are done. I will send the presentation, the recorded presentation, as a link.
I have one last question. What's next?
Yes, that's a good one. So I will announce the start date, which will be first week of September. I will send out an email about it. I will also send you a link or details on how, on the payment. So unless we have the payment, we cannot register the kids for the team. So I think those are the two things. I have a meeting with the principals, all the principals, in fact, in the next few days. Tomorrow, I'm meeting Folsom Middle School principal, and I have a meeting with the HR of Rescue, meeting with uh, I think some other officers from Rescue, etc., and principals. So over the next week to uh, figure out the rooms, setting up the rooms, etc. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Thanks for all the great questions. Have a good night. Thank you, Veronica.
You're very welcome. Just making sure we're getting no last minute questions.